Thank you, Silvana. So, the European Parliament is quite committed, not without difficulties, of course, and not with the same level of commitment by each and everyone, but still this House is very much at the forefront of fighting for gender balance. I would like to say a few words starting from something that Vice President Reding mentioned when she made a reference to the causes of the financial crisis. And she said that most probably if we were not talking about Lehman Brothers and we were talking about Lehman Sisters, things could be, should be, would be, I'm saying, quite different. And I add to this that I'm questioning, is it by chance that we were talking all along this crisis about golden boys? What's behind this? What's behind this sentence, golden boys? I think that behind this is a greedy behavior. It's a behavior that demonstrates what it is like to be eternally thirsty for more power and for more money. So I come back to something that most of our speakers underlined before. I believe that one woman among thousands of men in the higher ranks of financial institutions could not make big difference. Most probably, she will be either adapted or marginalized. But many women in the higher ranks of financial institutions, of central banks, as Ms. Reding pointed out before, in Europe our record is not a record for which we should be proud of. So more women in the higher ranks of financial institutions, central banks, governments can make a difference because it can change mentalities. And I would like to say that I think...
Excuse me, if you would like to have side conversations, may I ask you to do that maybe outside the room, so that it's, because of the translation that people have to put on the headphones, it's quite difficult to follow that if it's a bit noisy in the room. So it would be very kind to do that outside then. Thank you.
So I'm saying that I think that there is a strong symbolism in President Obama's decision to appoint Ms. Janet Yellen as the first woman ever in the head of the Federal Reserve, of the Central Bank of America. And I think that this is an example that Europe can take from the United States. Now, turning back to Europe, as I pointed out, our record is very weak. And in this specific issue, the European Parliament is very sensitive, and it fully explores its powers, its legislative powers, to promote a better gender balance in this very crucial sector, as it is the financial sector. Allow me to remind that we have blocked for several months the appointment of an ECB board member because of non-respect of gender balance. And today, as we are having here our conference, during this same time, at this same house at the European Parliament, in the frame of another committee, a hearing is taking place among different candidates for a key position. The head of the newly established single supervisory mechanism in the frame of the ECB, of the European Central Bank. And the only thing that I can tell you is that the gender dimension is very, very seriously taken into consideration. Now, the question is this a women's fight? I think that this is not a women's fight. This is a men's and women's fight, because it's a fight for a more inclusive, so more coherent and efficient democratic society. And this is our goal, and I strongly believe that this is how we are going to regain people's, citizens' trust towards politics, policies, and politicians, because in Europe, and not only Europe, I believe, we are facing a crisis of confidence towards representatives, towards institutions. And why is this? For many different reasons, but among these reasons, I believe that lies one very important one, and this is the fact that we haven't been efficient enough in fighting against all kinds of inequalities before and during the crisis. And I believe that gender inequality is certainly one of these inequalities. So if there is a lesson that I believe that we should learn, not to allow a similar crisis to happen again in the future, to hit our societies, I think that this is through fighting against all kinds of inequalities. We have to be to the very front line of this fight because we know, because we all have experienced inequalities, we know what inequality means, and so we are the best equipped and formed to lead this battle. Thank you very much.